Cool.
All right, so we're here with William Torrez. He is the president of Zeno Gym. He was born and raised here in Brawley, and we're excited to have him here on the podcast. So, without further ado, William Torrez, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for the intro. I hope to get a lot more of those. So thanks, dude.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir, yeah, thanks for taking the time with us today, or tonight rather. We're fired up as we were, kind of talking earlier. Just super pumped to continue to highlight people from our small town and small towns like ours that are going out there and doing amazing things and showing your circumstances and your surroundings do not dictate what you do in your life, and we want to kind of bring those amazing stories of people that have shown that, and kind of show give a little bit of a map to how they achieve that success, and kind of what you can do and what you can't do, and I think you'd be a great one to show that. So man, we're fired up. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Humble. Thank you, guys. That's cool. I'm excited for this opportunity.
So I guess to start, just kind of tell us about what your experiences were like growing up here, and were you someone that was always trying to get out of here and do something bigger, or how does being from Brawley create who you are now?
I mean, it's the foundation of who I am, and I owe everything to the town of Brawley. Growing up, I knew nothing else. So, I thought Brawley was the biggest town around. It wasn't until I got into college I realized, wow, how small and somewhat deprived our town was. But growing up, I was blind to that. I really didn't know. I was, my eyes, the richest and most privileged kid in the world. I had sports, my family, and that's all I really cared about at the time. And then jumping on sports, ever since I was 7 years old, playing football, active in baseball, always, that was the biggest thing. I mean, you guys know that town is built on football, and from the jump, my father, my grandfather, my mother, everyone was about that. So I devoted, the first 18 years of my life to football. Wins, a lot of losses, but I just recall, always striving for my senior year of high school, wanting to get to the peak, getting to that CIF. I mean, ever since I was 5 years old, looking at black and white football tapes of my dad in CIF and hearing stories, and being in Pop Warner, doing the Thursday games for freshman year, Saturday games for Pop Warner. That routine, we've all been through it. Hot ass days, going to Mexicali, eating tacos, waiting in line, that whole experience is what it's about. And then, so that was definitely the driving force to, the Valley, those away games in LA and San Diego, being the underdog, going to different cities, looking forward to those and kind of seeing where you stood was big. But I think one of the biggest, again, driving forces for me was, the goal to getting to, winning a CIF championship, Brawley football. That was like the Super Bowl of, a kid from Brawley who played sports, who played football. That was like, you want to make it to that Super Bowl, and that's where you want to be. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of a team that went to the championship game. We didn't win it, but that was what my life in Brawley really consisted of, was family and football, which is, I know you guys can relate to, but was everything. And from the underdog, the losses, the whole experience is really what drove me for my second phase in life, school and college and professional. But I loved it, man. I look back at it to this day. I remember when I was in college, I was a little ashamed to say where I was from, because I was kind of exposed to, oh, this person's from Laguna, this person from LA or Hermosa, and, Chicago, New York. And I was just like, fuck, I'm from Brawley. Do I even want to say that? And I was always a little timid to say that. And I was like, where the hell is that? And I was like, oh, it's East. No one ever wanted to be from the East.
Yeah. When you say you're from Brawley, it's like out 45 minutes east of San Diego. It's like it's hard to
it's
describe.
near Palm Springs somewhere. You know, try to amp it up a little bit, but
Out in the desert.
Exactly.
Yeah, people in Palm Springs don't even think it's Palm Desert's a good area, but
yeah,
I was
exactly.
a little timid at first, for sure. But it wasn't until I gained, the confidence in what I was doing and who I was that I proudly say that I'm from Brawley now, and I never label myself as anything else is from Brawley. And again, that's just from the hard work and the confidence that I've instilled in myself and around me to proudly say that I'm from Brawley. So I'm fortunate enough to have that confidence to say that I'm from Brawley. Doesn't matter who it is. And so I guess back to your question, always being the underdog, undersized, wasn't, the best athlete, the strongest athlete, and always pushing to be hard. And that underdog mentality always had me working hard and extra. And so I'm blessed and privileged to be from Brawley, California, where there's nothing but canals and cattle. And
that's right.
Yeah, man. So I like I said, I wear it with a badge of honor, and whoever I meet and whenever I meet, I'm from Brawley, California, man.
I love that, man. I love that because it is, man. It's something that's funny as a young kid or as a whatever, right? Like 18, 19, 20-year-old when you're leaving here. It's like, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're just like, I'm from middle of nowhere, right? Like you don't have that pride in necessarily where you're from until you kind of look back and go, I am the way I am because of how I was brought up in that town, right? And it is something that as you get older, you take more pride in the fact that this is where you were raised and this is the lessons you learned.
Dude, I dare someone to say I'm from a shit town in front of me. They can say it from my back, but they can't say it in front of me because we'll have a little bit of dispute if you say that in front of me because like I said, man, I represent Brawley and that's where I'm from and I love it. They were really good. We were just more grit. Like no joke. I still talk to I actually not met, but I'm homies with Gaffney. The first time I met him,
Tyler Gaffney.
The first time I met him, I was at a bar. He's like, hey, meet my friend Tyler. His Spanos told me to go meet Tyler and meet him at the bar. And I was like, all right, cool. And I met him and he was like, hey, what's up, dude? I'm Will. And he's like, oh yeah, what's up, dude? We started talking and he's like, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, I'm from Brawley. He's like, Brawley, California, Brawley? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, dude, there's this guy you played with. His name was Zay Shepard, bro. He was so sick. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that guy was the man, dude. That guy was the shit, dude. Like the homie, him and I talked still. And he's like, oh yeah, blah, blah. I was like, you played? And he's like, yeah. My name is Tyler Gaffney. And I was like, oh shit, dude. 2 Super Bowl teams, Tyler Gaffney.
Play a little ball.
Dude, he was like a better looking, stronger, bigger version of me, dude. I was just amazed. Just like, dude, damn, this kid's sick, but great guy. It just show like everyone knew about Brawley. If you at that age, everyone knows about Brawley. Still talk about that game. My homie.
It's funny, man. It is. It's funny. I was meeting a coach one day, and he was from San Jose State at the time, and he came down. I was in Holtville, and he's like, "Hey, so he's like, where are you from?" I'm from Brawley, and I could tell we're about the same age, right? And he's like, dude, I played against you guys when I was in high school because I went to Grossmont High. I'm like, so that was my senior year. He's like, I was a junior. He's like, dude, you guys, he's like, I've never played against a tougher group of people in my life. He's like, you guys, and I remember this, we broke the record that year for the longest drive. It was the whole first quarter, but I don't even think we scored, but we had the ball the entire first quarter. Maybe we did score, but we kept the ball, I think, into the second quarter on one drive. Brawley football, brother, we're just running the ball, and he was a safety on Grossmont's team. And I mean, it was the funny thing is, you guys, that is the toughest group of people like I've ever played against. And to have that is like, God, take that chip on the shoulder. We'll take that one. That's okay, man.
Yeah, we're known for a gritty, strong football team and our wrestling program too. I mean, we're definitely the underdogs, but people recognize how tough we are, and it's always good to know that people, associate us with tough people in athletics and stuff. So yeah, it's always good to hear stories like that.
It is, man. It is. So So you so you took that part of time, right? So you obviously after that graduated, you finished up at Brawley and you went off to college, San Diego State.
San Diego State, dude. I was telling someone today, the day after I graduated, I was out. I knew what I wanted. There's, Coach Cato was like, "Hey, I can get you into a small school," and I was like, "Ain't for me, man." I was like, "Football, my football career is done. I'm gonna hang my cleats on a high note," and I knew what I wanted. I wanted to go to college and
Yeah.
start the next chapter.
Yeah. No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. And obviously I am a San Diego State alum as well. So lots of pride, going to
Exactly.
that
Hell yeah.
school and definitely had some great times there. You went there. What were you, what was your intention? What were you going there to major in? What were your thoughts?
The truth is, I went for one reason, dude, and it was the party. I went for one reason to be a fucking frat star, and that was my main goal, dude. College was secondary. Um, people asked me what I majored in, and I was like, shoot. The first 3 years I didn't really major, and then the fourth year I was like, what do I qualify for? And they showed me a list, and I was like, all right, I'll take that one. But my college experience was great. I mean, I would never trade it for the world. I think one thing it opened up to me is what to obtain. I saw money for like the real first time, and I wanted to be always associated with success. I always wanted to be around the best athletes as a kid growing up. I wanted to be around people who were successful, and that's what the next part of me was. Wanting to be around people who were successful, who were starting their own businesses, who had nice cars, and had those things. And I knew that for the first time, having those items you had to work hard for. So that was the biggest learning lesson, on top of like networking and stuff. And it's not about so much about what you know, but who you know. So it was an eye opener for me. That's really what I learned from it. I took from it. I did learn some school stuff, of course. I picked some stuff along the way, but it was mainly the networking. And I can say it was the best thing for me, dude. Like just off the top of my head, I was talking to a banker last week, a hedge fund for capital for a business. And he's like, "What is it about San Diego State that what you guys drank?" I mean, I got friends that own Pure Vita, sold for 130 million. They're my age. Movement was across the street, a couple of years younger than us. They sold for 200 million.
Yeah.
Blenders, San Diego State, all within the circle too. So it was like that e-commerce boom was at around San Diego State, and Cuts was there too. The t-shirt company Cuts, they're crushing right now with Borelli leading the way. So it was just like, it was a hustler mentality. It was, I don't know what it was in the water. I saw somebody having nice things and like, what are you doing? Slinging cell phones, refurbishing phones, selling on eBay. And, I started my first business at that time. And it triggered me. It was like, all right, dude, like, I don't care what I majored in. I'm going to make a business out of something and get it.
I feel
So
like no doubt as who you've become, right? You kind of have that, right? I mean, that inside of you, just that mentality, that ability to talk and to kind of sell your point, whether that's an actionable item or just what you're something you're trying to get across to someone. So was that you growing up? Is that kind of your was that something how you were as a person? Did you already have that in you?
I think so. I don't know when exactly. I always had the mentality of like, fake it till you make it, and had a level of confidence in me. I think that was instilled by my dad and my mom at an early age. Probably was a little bit of cockiness at a younger age, but it was confidence.
Sure.
Yeah, just like kind of fake it till you make it. And that mentality kind of drove me. But it just developed into something, mutated into something else growing up. And when you mature, you kind of want to refine that confidence, and you become humble and still have the strength to proceed. So it's been an evolving characteristic ever since I was a kid, I like to say. I guess I haven't really never thought about that, but it's definitely changed throughout my first 33 years.
Yeah, definitely. So as time goes on, right, as you just kind of mature and things change as far as what's important to you and kind of what drives you, no doubt, as that's just obviously for all of us, that's how it is.
And then I think the other thing in business is like, there's no barriers. Like, for me, I've been all across the board. I've started, several businesses, but like I'm not confined to one, as far as like political science. I'm going to be an intern and try to be a congressman, or I'm going to go into bio and be a scientist or a nurse or whatever it is. You're kind of confined to that industry. Business, man, you can do all those. You can get into all those. So there's really, your creativity can go into one industry, jump into another, and your experiences. And that's what like business that I love is like, I know I won't be doing this rest of my life. In 3 years, I'll be pumped up and excited to do something else. Dive into this, dive into that. I'm not defined by what I do now, but by what I've done in the past and what I'm going to do and where I'm at. So I think it's just like the unknown and what I'm really like excited about what I'm gonna do next, and whatever it is, even if I fail or I succeed, I know that I'll go into it balls to the wall and make it happen. So I think that's the biggest thing for business for me is like you can jump into various industries and create and be creative.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So we asked you what you've been in a ton of different business ventures. One of the ones you mentioned is that Out NPV, OUT NPV. So explain that.
We were actually was invited to this group. Pure Vita, Griffin, and like 4 of the guys were like in a frat and a fraternity. And we were living in PB, and the thing to do was, try to make it to school, and then, Thursday through Sunday, try to find the happy hours. Everyone's on a budget to go drink. So they came up with this idea. And then I think my last year at college, I had taken like some web classes because I really wanted to get into websites. I took I took some web design and some Photoshop, and they knew I was doing that. So, hey, Will, you'd be a great attribute to the team. Why don't you jump on with us? I was like, heck yeah, I'm down. So it was basically a happy hour website that gave you the daily happy hours of the PB area. And there was about 63 bars in that time in a 3-mile radius. So we'd do that. We'd get like local sponsors. People would give us like budgets and stuff, and we'd advertise a little bit. And it was a fun thing to do. It was a fun project, and it was not gaining like big momentum, but it was just like the tip of the iceberg for all of us. It was like the jump start for what.
And you guys are probably utilizing the deals, huh? Like,
oh, dude, yeah. I mean, that was like there was definitely a perk, and we'd do like photo shoots and invite people and stuff. It was like we would get like bottle service for free and stuff to promote it. So it was a fun experience, but it was like the starting point of what I wanted to do is websites. And ironically enough, like that one experience has a lineage to what I'm doing now, and it did for I think all those other guys too. So, I wouldn't call it a success or a failure, but it was just like the starting point to where.
Was there much monetary value to that?
Oh,
venture?
no, it all came in alcohol. So
yeah, that's right. You spent it all anyways. So, but that kind of sparked it a little bit for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of takes that, right? You always have something's got to kind of like light that little bit of that fire to be like, okay, this. Yeah. I like this. I like this avenue a little bit. What else? And so that was your going into your senior year, you said?
Yeah. One of my senior years. Yeah.
And so what did you end up graduating with the degree?
I had a political science major. I interned for Bob Filner, who was the mayor at the time, last year. And I had a minor in marketing. So 5.5 years got me those degrees.
Yeah. Did you ever think anything about going into politics? You mentioned that briefly.
I still do. That's one of my goals. I would love to be a congressman for the 54th district in Imperial Valley. I would love it, man. I work in Tijuana. I have that connection. I speak Spanish. I think I would love to. Yeah, that's one of my goals for sure, to be a congressman.
Wow. I love that, man. That's fantastic. We might be able to work together in the future here. We got some stuff, man. We'll make that happen.
I need you guys to vote right now. Give me your vote.
We'll make that. We'll make that happen. Yeah, man. That's great, because obviously our district here, and what we're at, we tend to kind of be forgotten a little bit in the whole fray of things, and obviously as many people don't know, but I mean, as far as the agriculture side here for California, we're huge, and for the whole United States. I mean, so it's a gigantic place. So that's awesome, man. That's unique right there. So you finished up school, so you got the bar app going, and then what was your first real big venture that you jumped into?
I wouldn't say big venture, but my like first legitimate venture was I had separated with those guys, and another guy approached me about having a accessory for smokeless tobacco. And at that time, I was kind of down and out about my departure without MPB, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I did it out of like somewhat of vengeance. I wanted to build something bigger and better. And I was it. That's the first thing I did. And it didn't really matter what it was for me. I just wanted to get back in the game.
Yeah.
So it was called Snuffskins, and they gave me some equity for what I was going to do. And I didn't buy into it. So I was like, easy, sweat equity.
Sure.
I did it. That I learned so much from that, from building the site to advertising to getting in stores, merchandising, branding, messing with the social media. I had done that. We had traveled, we had gone to conventions and trade shows, and I was young, dude. I was like 24, 25. And then, doing a couple years with that, which really was helpful because at the time I had a 9-to-5 and I had that business had gotten let go. It was a furniture manufacturer that I worked for, and they went under in 2011 or 10 when the Great Recession hit. Was during the Great Recession. So that supplemental income really helped me out as a kid. So I was going back home. So that really stepped up the game for me, helped me through some tough times. So then after that, I mean, during that time, I saw another competitor that came in the scene with a higher price point, and somehow his kid was doing it, and I got him to get in with us, and while taking equity in his position. So I kind of like leveraged my way into his business too. And so that first time, I mean, I remember when we first negotiated the deal, and I did so with his dad, and I was like 24 at the time. The first month we did like 60 grand in sales during Christmas, selling waterproof spitless spittoons. And it was just like,
yeah,
you can really make some money here, dude. This is insane. You just made 60 grand in a month. Like, this is nuts, dude.
So this was Spitbud, right?
It was Spitbud. Yeah. All from like plastic injection, all from like Twitter and Instagram. I was like, dude, this is nuts. Like, you can make a lot of money doing this e-commerce stuff. And, so that's what got my feet wet with everything. And,
I don't know if you remember, Chato, but I went over with Jonathan one time and worked a whole day with you guys.
Did
we
you?
were in like a little office, man, putting those things together. That was really cool.
I remember that. Dude. I suckered you guys into doing that. Yes, I did. It was in North Park, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was us, me, Jonathan, Charlie Graham. We're just putting those things together all day.
Yeah,
really
dude.
Cool.
Charlie worked for us for about a year and a half. Yeah, dude, I remember that. I do. It was again, I hated the industry. I got out of it, quickly after that. I didn't like the industry at all.
And did you guys sell that business, or what was that?
Yeah, we sold to a distribution company back in 2016, something like that. Made some money, dude. I was like, I recall, glad you mentioned that. I recall my attorney who made the deal, he was like, well, here it is, your first business. And like, I had the money deposited, and I was like on a high, dude. It was like a drug. And I was like, I want to get back to this spot as soon as possible. Like that 3 days was the best, dude. It was like, it was better than CIF. It was just like, wow, dude, like I made some money, dude. This is it. The money transferred. I was like, wow, dude, this is sick. So I haven't gotten there again, but I'm going to, and I know I'm looking forward to that. And it was a drug. It really was. The high was insane.
Wow.
But yeah, that's where I stood with those first couple ones.
So at that point in time, how old were you when you finished out of that second company?
I think I was like 27, something like that. How old am I now? 33. Yeah. I really wanted out. I didn't like the business at all. It was really rough. It was really, for the lack of better words, it was very conservative. And I was a liberal Mexican in that industry. I was always had to hide behind the curtain a lot of it. And I really couldn't defend ourselves that much because we were getting a lot of ridicule. So it was just something I didn't really want to be a part of. It was a nasty industry, and I wanted to get out and get something I was a little more passionate about, which
Yeah.
Did any of the like competing companies ever mention that you were a liberal or Latino? Like,
I mean, I don't know how much we can dive into it, but there's a very popular competitor that was just outright mean. He had a big YouTube following, and he would go out and have all his little minions who also had like, "Don't tread on me," Confederate flags. Just like that was that industry. They would pull
wow.
photos from my Facebook, and like when I would go to like Tiesto concerts and stuff, and like be late night, they would expose that stuff, calling me homosexual, saying I was a liberal, saying I was gay, I would import from China. Like they exposed the crap out of me, dude. And I was just like,
Wow.
I couldn't defend myself because I would, expose who I was to a demographic that didn't agree with, my principles and my color.
Yeah.
So it was just something I had to like hide behind the curtain. So I wanted out as soon as possible. And
Yeah.
I wasn't going to win that battle. I was trying to go take him legally, and it just wasn't worth it. So
That's crazy. This was just was this a local, like someone in your direct market like you guys were in, or is this like a
national, dude. It was like
really?
we sold most of Texas. So he was like in LA, but he was a really popular YouTuber, Instagram guy. But one of the most profound, influential books I read was 48 Laws of Power. And one of the power chapters was like, take your L, cut your losses, and go back to the drawing board and build something better, and that's what I did. I was like, you know what, I'm going to call this an L, and I'm going to come out on top because I'm going to make some money, but I'm going to let him have this one. I'm going to come back and stomp on this guy, in a different form. So, my L at that time wasn't really an L, but like I had to just get out, take my losses, whatever it was, and move on to something else. And I remember reading that book on a plane, head somewhere, and I was like, dude, I need to do this. I need to do that lesson. And that's what I did. And I was like, I got to get out and do something different, do something else, like I said, I was more passionate about, which led me to Torrez bracelets. That's when I started back in 2016, 17, or 15 actually is when I thought of it. It took me about a year and a half to develop it, but I wanted out, completely out.
So do you think reading that book right there, do you think that's what pushed you over the edge to kind of move on?
Absolutely. I remember that moment in that window seat in economy going to Pennsylvania for a trade show. And I was like, I read that lesson. I was like, it was about Napoleon, who had lost a major battle, and he had surrendered. He had to go back. He retreated, but then he made a huge comeback. Is when they let him live. And by the enemy messing up, by letting him live, you're supposed to, you stomp on your enemy's throat and not let him live, because they'll come back, whether it's the form of their son, their legacy, whatever it is. That's why lions killed the opposite, the opposite, the enemy's son, because they'll come back and kill you. And he didn't do that to me. I got out soon enough, and this is my comeback.
There you go. That's awesome, man. That's a really unique story right there, to get into that point, because I think there's turning points, right, in everyone's lives, and it's kind of like to be able to actually really go back and pinpoint something that really clicked in you, that drove you. That's pretty awesome to remember that, right? To kind of like take that along with you, like, no, there was a pivotal point in that time, and this was it. That's unique right there, man.
And so was Toro bracelet the next venture you kind of got into?
Yeah, it was like never left a beat. As soon as I got rid of that, I was already on to something else. And that's still going on right now to this day. I've had some major setbacks with that business. But yeah, I was simply at a bar in San Francisco, and I saw this guy wearing his iPhone cable around his neck at a bar. And I was like, dude, I would do the same thing if I just didn't look like an iPhone cable. And so my was, how can I make that look cool? And, so yeah, that was the next thing. And, that business is fun. I've had a great time with it. It's still active right now. I'm selling bracelets every day. But I've had my turmoils with that one too. I mean, like I had mentioned earlier, it's like not everyone's a great victory. The Qualcomm game wasn't a great victory, but it's a lesson learned. Snuffskins and Spitbud wasn't a great victory, but I learned so much from it. I think tour
Sure.
bracelets is the same thing too. Like what I've learned in those experiences really propelled me to what I'm doing now. You know, I got knocked off by China with the bracelets, and China's selling my bracelets on Amazon for a quarter of the price, and they're
Yeah.
selling
Wow.
thousands of them. And then nothing I can do. I have patents on everything, and I can't do anything. You know, so I'm David and Goliath is just crushing me right now with price points and having my product, even my logo on it. So
Wow.
it was definitely devastating, put me in the hole a lot. Um, this time last year, I was significantly in the hole, you know, with Toro bracelets. I had investors, you know, the Spanish family who has been great help for me. You know, I was in the hole with them. I was in a, you know, a spot, I was in a pinch. Um, but you know, I think it was a great problem to have and a great lesson. So you know that I'm thankful for that, um, because that, you know, 4-year business that's still going on right now has taught me so much and has enabled me not to do the same mistakes and given me the knowledge to get it right this next time.
Yeah, no doubt. Like you said, man, it's they're not all on paper. It's not like you said, man. I feel like, I hate losing more than I like winning, right? I don't like to lose at anything. And it's kind of one of those things, but over time, these are just things that help build you up for that next experience, right? All those losses that you're going to learn a lot more from those losses. Like we always, growing up, right? You learn a lot more by losing than you do by winning, right? So these things that have kind of guided you to this next, to this next point, it's all there's a purpose to the whole thing, right?
Absolutely, man. And you don't see it at the time. It's not clear, and you're beaten up. And this is every instance in life, whether it's relationships, whether it's business. At least for me, you're gonna get L's, you're gonna get failures, but it's about, you know, your tenacity and resilience that pushes you and to look at it differently. Look at it as not like a loss, but a learning lesson, and to keep moving, dude. And not that I've conquered that by any means, and it's definitely frustrating, but you know, I'm slowly, you know, realizing that it's true. All those sayings and quotes that you hear that are just
Yeah.
cliche. No, dude, that stuff's true and it's happening. And, you know, my experiences alone have really taught me. And I hope that I can share that message with me, because I'm realizing it for myself right now. And looking back at it, I can see it. Like those aren't losses. Those are just lessons, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And that's kind of like you said, man, to take that time to really take a step back and go, okay, now everything, this is lining up for a reason, right? I mean, it's I fully on, man. I don't think anyone, when you're going through those things, you're not thinking that, because you're just thinking about where you're at and the situation, how you're going to the next thing. But yeah, when you take that chance that time to really to step back and go, all right, let me look at this path along the way and going, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, but it's all for where you're at now, because look, all the experience, right, in these bunch of different settings, right? Marketing, sales, manufacturing, like you said, all the things that you've led to this next the next stop.
It's creepy how crazy it is. And I think Gary Vee said it one time when I was listening to him, is like, any advice for like a 20-year-old? He said, fail, fail again, and fail after that. You got to fail, dude, and expose yourself, let it out there. And as long as you fall forward, you're going to keep on moving forward, whether it's an inch,
Yeah.
whether it's a step, just keep on moving forward. And I'm thankful to have a supporting cast, my family and friends, but you're going to take L's, and there's no successful person who has not, faced failures. And
No doubt.
it's the truth.
No question about it. Here's a funny little side note, right? So we talked earlier, we were talking about football, bro. So your dad, when I was 8, whatever, I was playing soccer, and he told my parents he needs to play football, not soccer. And
Really?
and so that he talked my mom into letting me play football that next year, and he was my first coach.
No
Him,
way.
Sean Palacio's dad, like
I
Andy
remember that
Buckner.
year, bro. As long as it was, I remember that team, dude.
It was
I remember that team, dude. I still do. My sister was on the team too, wasn't she?
She might have been the year before that. I maybe, but that my first year was junior peewees, and because I was a gigantic ass kid, and but yeah, like Andy Buckner, Sean, Keto, like I never played with people my age until like high school pretty much.
Shit, yeah, those guys are older than you for sure.
Yeah, they're at least 1 or 2. Like Hito was 2 years older than me. So like I always went against people that were older than me. I never got to play I never played football with people my age until maybe my 8th grade year I did. But yeah, and then my 8th grade year,
You're Mitchell Reese's and
1 year
Grant.
younger.
No, you're Grant's year, right?
Grant and Sutton and that group of that
Gotcha.
age group. Then my 8th grade year I did not make weight. And your mom hooked it up, bro. She's like, on the scale, the last weigh-in at Brawley, she was like, because I've been like running. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna play. Like, I can't lose any more weight. I was like 5'11". I'm like, I was like, dude, I can't. Like, I'm way bigger than these people. And so I went to weigh in finally. On the last one, my mom was like, hey, you're done. Like, you're not running anymore. And your mom's like, just make way for that first game. I'm like, thank you. So I went to Mexicali for my first game that year. Wore the smallest pads on the team because remember they made you weigh in with pads on. So I wore the smallest kids' pads to weigh in, right there. I was like, right under.
Those were good experiences, dude. Like Mexicali, dude. Like never would you think like that's acceptable out. Do they do that still?
I do think they still play in Mexicali. I'm like, as a parent now, bro, I don't really want to. I don't want to go down to Mexicali to play
dudes
sport.
Got kids in the stands. They got full mustaches.
Homie like, whipped in his Celica.
I got concussed in like the opening kickoff when I played against a midget year.
Yeah, dude, you guys are tough. That always tough, dude. Shit, man.
They were, bro. They do. I mean, so when I was that age, I mean, we might have won my 8th grader, but for a while they were murdering us. And we had like really good teams. That was a team like my age group or my team. We went to the semis my junior year, right? Like we were good, bro. Those guys down there killed us a couple years in a row. Like,
where did those kids go to high school?
Well, they were in high school, but they were playing junior midgets.
They didn't have a team. They would come down and play, dude. And all those kids were old. We had an amazing team. My 8th grade year, like midgets. And I was like, there's no way they're going to beat us. And they barely beat us. And that would happen every year, too, from like Joseph Olivo and Matt Sevilla's year. They barely beat them, too. And they had a stacked team with like a couple of guys I can't name, but they always had a great team. And we always gave them a good run for their money because we were good, too. But they always seemed to out-edge us. And it was just those couple years older than us that really did it, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. Yeah, this maturity thing. Yeah, that was like, he's obvious, bro. This dude is way older than like,
bro. I didn't go through puberty until I was like a junior in high school, man. So they had to band me like, why are you giving me the ball? I'm gonna tackle this guy. Are you kidding me?
Bro, that's another funny thing, man. Like this guy, like, dude, I this is funny, man. I distinctly remember this. You were you're 2 years younger than me, right? Two grades younger than me, right? So I remember in spring ball, like going into my senior year, so going into your sophomore year, and I remember, dude, like you were playing quarterback, bro. You were tiny then, bro. Like I told Hunter, I'm like, dude, this fool, like the ball was like too big for him at the time, bro. Like you were small, dude. And it's funny to see like how, like going from that point to your senior year, just how much you did, like, that maturity from there, because
now you come down for the flag football tournaments and you fucking tear shit up.
It's just funny, right? Like how some people, man, it's like you just hit it at different times. But you
I'll never forget you caught the first touchdown in that Qualcomm game.
Yeah,
Number
dude,
2, the tight end, dude.
I remember Justin going to it was my sophomore year. You were a senior, and going and begging Bishop to let me go weightlift with you guys at 6 a.m.
Yeah,
because I didn't want to weightlift. I didn't want to weightlift with my age. I wanted to get like any type of exposure with you guys. I wanted it, dude. And I was the smallest guy. Like it was an inconvenience for sure. A far inconvenience of having him do that with me, having him allow that with me. Because you guys were doing weight that I could never imagine. Like, dude, I wasn't even going through puberty yet. I was a freaking sophomore. And I was small, and you're right, dude. I remember those spring leagues. I couldn't even hold the damn football. And they would just accommodate me because of that. And it was at first it was embarrassing, but there's like, no, dude, I got to prove myself. And I think I got some stripes at that time with the
Hell yeah,
coaches at
no,
least.
that's what's. I remember this shit. I mean, for me to remember it is because I just
Yeah.
remember the fact that like I mean, I remember you being like small, being like, bro, you're like, no, he's gonna
Yeah.
keep that dude's gonna keep trying to sling that thing, like he's still
Yeah,
going.
dude. Yeah,
Coming full
it was
circle.
weird, dude. I couldn't even grip that football, man. It was a tough time, dude. It was
It's
yeah.
it's crazy, man. Like just to like just sit here and like actually think back to that, bro. Because I mean, all those like all that the whole time period of that, like I mean, and the other funny thing, right? I'll go back to that real quick, right? So your game at Qualcomm. So one salty thing I'll always be about, man, is that we lost. I was coaching at Imperial, bro, and we lost to freaking Santa Fe Christian in the semis that same year. Santa Fe goes to play Palo Verde in the championship at Qualcomm before you guys. Like, I'm
I
like, we
remember
should have been playing in that game there, like against Palo Verde. We lost 35-21 to Santa Fe Christian, bro. Like they were insanely good. Like, and then they beat Palo Verde in the championship. But I
they
do
played
remember.
Palo Verde in the championship game. They played Palo Verde in the championship game. No way.
Yep, Palo Verde played. They had that Ortega kid, that big old quarterback, and then they had a running back Boyd who was a baller, and then they had that Quintanilla kid who was like a sophomore, and the kid was he was a dog.
They had a Quintanilla kid that year?
Yeah, the dude was a dog.
They had one of my brothers senior, right?
Um,
Aaron Quintanilla?
there might have been two. Yeah. But Ortega was the quarterback on that team, though.
Wait,
Remember,
wasn't Andrew Reese the quarterback that year?
Andrew.
Yes.
Andrew. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Andrew's a sophomore, and Andrew was our quarterback, and we had Christian Ramirez who went to UCLA, and like we were good, bro. We were good. Andrew.
Did anyone ever mention you guys playing Imperial that year?
Oh, we used to always everyone
Did anyone
like
talk about it
back
or
then
mention
though,
it or
like
Josh-
see he gets that look on his face, but yes. I mean, like yeah, would we have liked to at the time? Certainly, because just like this, if you're competitive, you have that. If you have something to prove, does not mean Imperial would have beat Brawley at that time. Brawley had. I mean, look, there was guys that I played with on that team still.
At the
Leo,
Mohammeds,
no, but like, dude,
Zane.
there's guys that you don't even know about, like Leo Ibarra.
I know Leo.
Sergio,
Leo.
bro, they had a line that was a big part of it. They had a line that dealt with assholes from sophomore year on. Like they were just tough dudes, man. And then it gets to that point. There's a reason why that team was so good. I mean, the talent was one thing. I mean, but that team was. It just that mentality was funny. Is like when we finally moved to San Diego section, which was my freshman year. So my sophomore year, by the time we finally realized like, dude, we can actually go to win a CIF championship in this thing. Like, and so that's where that whole like, that's a new goal. And then all the wrestlers talking shit like, oh, you guys don't have anything on that building, bro. We got our name on there. So like, that was the goal is like, bro, we need to put our name on that building. And I mean, unfortunately, no, we haven't been able to, but bro, like it's been so close. Like,
I still remember every single game that was lost all up until that point. It was Marian Catholic your junior year, my freshman year.
Yeah.
It was Sierra your senior year.
So
it was
God, bro,
Monta Vista the year before, and then it was no, was it Point Loma or Monta Vista? I think it was Monta Vista, and then it was Valley Center our year. But yeah, I remember each year it was like close. It was like one step away from getting to the queue.
It was always close, man. And we're so competitive, and it's obviously, and they've kept it going that way as far as just it's a mentality, man. It goes back to the whole thing, right? Like the way we've grown up, man. You take that little piece of that with you, no matter what. Like it's just remember how much how proud at that time you were to be from Brawley, like when you were in that setting, man. Like we were in the Valley because social media wasn't a thing. So like you went to the fair, things like that, bro. Yeah. Oh, hey, those guys are from Brawley. Like it's like it's there's no social media, so it's like walking around like
Letterman's jackets.
You know what's good? What's popping?
Going back to your question, Hunter, is like how I got that mentality. I think I got it a lot of it from my freshman sophomore year, Justin, of like faking it till you make it, fake it till
Yeah.
you can weightlift that much when you're a fucking, sophomore,
Yeah.
I remember walking in, I was like, I can't even lift the bar barely, I can only do 95
Yeah.
pounds. But like, I always wanted to compete. I always thought I was like, I could try to hang and, no matter what and fail. And I think that's kind of symbolic to that first topic is like, I had no business being in that weight room. I had no business being in spring practice. I had no business being, the quarterback or running drills, no business at all. But like, I was gonna be damned if I was gonna be told no or someone was gonna let me do it,
It,
but
it
that's
takes
funny.
something inside you though to put yourself in those positions, right?
So you felt like that class 2 years ahead of you encouraged you to
I think
really
just
work harder.
being put into those
'Cause-
environments, right?
Yeah.
Environments where it's not comfortable. Right. Anytime that you put yourself into a challenging position and situation, you grow.
Because Chato,
It
like
may not be right then, but
you
you
guys
grow, right?
you guys were in 2004 at Qualcomm. My class was 2013 going to the semis, and we wanted to be you guys. Like you guys
Yeah.
inspired us. Like we want to be the next team to go to the CIF championship from Brawley. And it's
And there's
crazy
always-
that lineage in our small little town here.
Yeah, it means it's like the Super Bowl, man. It's like going to CIF and making it there is just it's like the Super Bowl playoffs and stuff. It's what you live for when you're down there as a kid, dude. And it really just if you can get from it, like if you can learn lessons from it, it really can catapult you to the next thing in life too. And
Yep.
like I said, man, I love Brawley. I love waking up at 6 a.m. for 4 hours for 4 years straight, weightlifting, summers, dude. It built you to work hard and it made me, and I know it made you guys too. So
No,
it's just special.
no,
Absolutely.
no doubt. We'll take one more football thing real quick before we move on to I think the next point in the business conversation. But playing Pop Warner, right? Growing up as a kid the entire time. What I think one of the things I remember most beyond games or anything is I remember practicing and hearing on Thursday nights them announcing Kurt Rubin with a touchdown, Robbie Sheehan with a touchdown. I just remember these names and them continually saying those things. And that's like, and that's what's funny is like, yeah, those guys drove, when you're looking ahead, it's like, bro, I want to be that on those nights, bro. Like I want to be on that field. Like, and it's so cool because there's probably not one exact thing that I think probably for myself that probably like made me want to succeed more than playing football growing up. I think that's that as far as doing something, one thing that I could point out, like, bro, that probably drove my competitive fire. That made me want to be better than everyone. Like that made, it just, I don't know. That's the only thing I can pinpoint that said like, that probably built a lot of who I became, like my confidence, my, like you said, like that little bit of that. Yeah. Are you cocky? Are you not like that? Like, but bro, like that's led to everything else that I do. That's part of who you become, right?
The reason why you swing at people like that is you can go to bat with them. It doesn't matter if you're from a small town or you're undersized or the youngest guy there. It's that confidence that drives you. It's able you to shoot that text or to shoot that DM or shoot that shot, whatever it is. Whatever it is, it's just that confidence. And yeah, I think we all kind of can resonate with that whole experience, being the underdogs and trying to have a goal mindset and working hard towards it every single day. Being motivated and disciplined. That's the discipline was the biggest thing. 18 years old that you don't really see, but that you become disciplined. You're playing sports and playing for Brawley football. You're disciplined. Whether you like it or not, you're going to be disciplined. So it definitely, I have some residuals from those experiences. We all do.
No doubt. Yeah, very cool, man. So I think that where we left off earlier, we're discussing Toro bracelets, right? So you're still, so that's still going. You're still, that's and now just for you right now, is that in the forefront, or is that kind of a side project at this point?
I
as
have
you've moved on.
It was the forefront back in 2013 when that furniture business went out. We had started a furniture company ourselves because I kept on getting calls. I was a sales rep at the time, working with Snuffskins. I had two things going on. I knew that if I wanted to succeed or prosper in life, I always needed to have my 9 to 5 and then like a side hustle. And that was like my 20s, dude. It's like I got home and worked. And I just knew that in order for me to get to the next level and break that barrier, I needed to have my side hustle no matter what. And I've always had and I've learned bad lessons from that too, not burning your ships and stuff. But 2013, we started a furniture business with an existing previous associate, and it was called Covet Hospitality. Still is called Covet Hospitality. And we manufactured furniture. We had nothing. We had no name. We had no building, no people, no employees. But I kept on getting calls from like the Padres for furniture and stuff. And Snufskins was basically carrying me afloat during that time. We started the business from nothing, and it was just like, why not? Just we had nothing to lose. Let's do it. And then today, it's upwards to almost a $20 million company before this year. And so we have our own building. We have 3.5 acres in Tijuana, 250 employees. So every year we've grown, and that furniture business is working with, I walk into meetings with, top dogs from Hilton, IHG, Marriott, and presenting and doing these things with designers and stuff, and traveling the world from that business. And as unsexy as that business is, it's broken borders for me, literally. And I know people who are in Tijuana and it's given me a manufacturing experience too. So throughout, Snufskins, Toro bracelets, I've been, my 9 to 5 has always been the furniture business. And so
that's still today.
Still to this day, man, we still operate. This year's been really tough, of course, because no hotels and restaurants are playing furniture. So this time last year, I was starting up a new campaign. We were crushing, we were crushing furniture. We're doing really well. And my Toro bracelets was about to relaunch of new wallets that we're coming out with. And we were about to, put money into this new campaign. The Spanos were behind it. I had some more backing. We're about to go head first into it. And I was excited. It was March of this year. And then, as we all were surprised, this pandemic shut everything down. And it was just like, shit, dude, what's happening? At the time, money was good for me. And I was like, dude, this is whatever. This is going to go away in a month. It's going to go back to normal.
Exactly.
Vacationing, traveling. I was in Arizona, had a dope ass house, just chilling, drinking every day. It's kind of like a big extended vacation. And then when it wasn't, it came back to normal. I was like, we're in a lockdown. It's like, what is this world? I got my gun, I got ammo. I'm like, dude, I got like canned goods, and we're all freaking out. That was my experience. So that was like, again, that was like March, and then April came around, and then I had gotten back with my ex-girlfriend, which I had a really tough time in, like the beginning of the year. I think I mentioned it 102. It's like emotionally, I was depressed. Like I've never been depressed in my life before. And that really took a big hit on me. Like people with mental health issues, I never understood it. So I never had empathy for it. And I feel so bad for it because it's a real thing, dude. So that happened. My furniture business was completely shot. Sales dropped significantly up to like 70%. No one's traveling, so no one's gonna get travel with their wallets. So I remember being in this seat early in the year, and I'm like, we need to pivot. What are we gonna do? Like it was desperation. How are we gonna let go of employees? We're talking about letting go of people. What am I gonna do? I got bills to pay. I have big bills to pay. I'm like, shoot, what is going to happen? It was like sink or swim for me, and it was tough, man. I remember some nights I just wouldn't sleep, dude. It was bad. But everyone was going through that too. Everyone was in an unknown world and experiencing that.
Yeah.
The first thing I did was, all right, how are we going to pivot? I have these resources. I know e-commerce. I know manufacturing. What are we going to do? And I Googled, what industries are doing well right now. And then there's like 10 industries that are doing well. One of them was fitness. And I'm like, dude, I've been hitting the gym every morning, 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., the best shape of my life. Like I was freaking cut. I'm ready to go. Getting ready for next flag football season. And then, training, dude, and listening, watching my high school highlights, just getting back in shape, getting motivated. It's not a joke either. And I'm like, I'm doing some research, and I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I came across this product, and I was like, this bench, and these guys were selling it for a bench, an upholstered bench, and they're selling it for like $230, something like that. I was like, dude, I can make that bench for nothing. Like, are they really selling for that much? And they're sold out? Like, what the hell, dude? Like, I can do that.
This was April?
This was mid-April to this year. And it was either that doing masks, which everyone was doing, which I didn't want to do. I had bought like thousands of the masks from China, but I didn't want to be in that rat race. Or selling sex pillows because I knew everyone was home having sex. So I was like, what am I gonna do? I have
this
sex
thing you
pillows
saw
too.
them selling, it was an exact replica of the Zeno Gym, or
No,
very similar, or
my no, it was it had it was a bench. It was an upholstered bench, and they use it for specific workouts, not like a full body workout.
yeah.
So I saw that. I was like, dude, I can do that, and I can make it cheaper, and I can sell it better than he is.
Wait, so
So
Charlie, before we go on, so I mean, with Toro bracelets, with Snuff Skin, Spit Buds, do you have guys that you go to as far as building these products, like the raw materials and put them together? Like, where do you go from there when you have the idea?
you got to start somewhere. And for me, I'm fortunate because we have a factory in Tijuana. We have 15 engineers. We have customer service. We have upholstery. We have 2 CNCs with the mill. We have cut and sew. We have sewing. We have 30 sewing machines. We have, it's
Wow.
65,000 square feet of
This was all from the furniture side.
furniture side.
So you're making the Zeno Gym products in Tijuana.
We make 500 to 600 a day. They're making them right now.
Wow.
Yeah, they're making them right now. We're working.
So you sat there and said, all right, I've got all the resources to figure this thing out. I think I can advance upon what this thing is already. And how quickly from that time did you say, all right, let's figure this thing out?
4 days. I made it in 2 days. I made the website in the 3rd day. I made ads the 4th day, and we went live. And I recall my business partner asking me, being on a call like this, he's like, how many think you can sell a day? And I was like, well, we're gonna sell them for about 230. I don't know, maybe like 10 a day. And he's like, 10 a day. Okay, that's like 120 to 150,000, $150,000 a month. That's good. We can survive maybe on that, supplement some income. And I was like, all right, dude, let's try it. So at that time, it was desperate times. Everywhere sold out of weights. Gyms were closed.
Yeah, exactly.
Nationwide. So it really that elevated us sales and exposure and stuff. So I knew how to do the ads. I knew how to build the website. Everything was janky, dude. Like literally you see me in my kitchen and furniture moved around, doing like dumbbells and weights like this and doing leg lifts and fly and stuff. So it was really janky. But that first day we went live, we're like, shit, this is selling. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is all right. I get it. And then that first month, dude, the first 30 days, we sold almost $500,000 in that first 30 days. And
was this like pre-sell or were you actually like already making product?
We were making product. Like, so one other thing too, is like, everything's like coming from China. So everyone had like a 30-day lead time. Amazon sold out. We're like, dude, we can do it in like less than 10 days. So we were shipping as we were making it. We're shipping
which is, funny. So you mentioned that, right? So, I mean, we export company, right? So our stuff's going. So, and now we're looking at the shipping world and how things were going. And everything in China was shut down. So, I mean, the manufacturing hub and the fact that you have this direct connection into TJ and into Mexico to create product. I mean, the timing of that couldn't have been better for you as far as making that decision and moving.
You guys, I told this story today with the PR firm, and I told it another time today with CBS. They're interviewing us to be on one of their shows. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because I don't think there's another person that was in better position for this. And everything that we've done has been the perfect time, the perfect place at the perfect moment in time in the world. Yeah. There's never been a time like this before. So we were, blessed, completely blessed and fortunate for this to be in this position and have these resources. I mean, having engineers, having the foam, having the vinyl, that we had everything, having the CNC machine. I spent the next 2 months in Mexico every day. My girlfriend at the time thought I was cheating on her with Mexico. What do you mean Mexico? I was like,
family down there.
Put it on the table. She thought I was already like a family in TJ. I was like, I'm going down there and literally at the engineer's desk, building out this design, how we're going to do it. And build it. And, every week it was like, I couldn't sleep, dude. I was on 6 a.m. runs, and on one of the 6 a.m. runs, like in month 1.5, I was like, what if we put D-rings on it and put some resistance band. Then it can be like a full body without weights. It's like, all right, let's do this. I had a Chinese connection. Go ahead.
So originally, your idea was just to have the bench to kind of utilize for hip thrust benching or like dumbbells, like just a generic bench.
Yeah, I wanted to target and capitalize on the hip thrust and booty industry. I was like,
so girls that can't go to a gym and really target the things that they're doing.
We're gonna take over the glute industry. We're gonna call it glute gains, and we're gonna crush it. We're gonna own that.
So I was scrolling through your Instagram, and I saw that. So I saw that progression in your Instagram from the early time, and that's why I was like, all right. So there's an evolving time period to this thing.
Well, it kept on getting bigger. So I was like, we're just gonna sell and supplement income for our furniture factory until we can get through this time. And I was like, all right, this can be a business. We can corner the market in the glute industry. And it's like, no, we're going after Bowflex. We're going to knock on Peloton's door here soon. Like we're going after this. And that's like where we're at now. We're realizing that, and we see the light in the tunnel, but it didn't happen overnight. It's been 8 months, and every other month, it's like every month it's like, we're going to add this to it. We're going to add this to it. And, today was the first day that we have our new bench coming out, which is going to be placed in Costco. And that thing is just, I am so proud of that thing. So, I mean, Mexico, people ask me how it happened. And the first thing I say is Mexico. Mexico is the new China in my eyes. I mean, you can get stuff here locally. We have all the tools, lead times are cut down. Labor's of course on your side because it's less expensive. And then trade, NAFTA, it's beneficial. And plus to be set up there and have everything already. I mean, we do customer service, sales, the engineering, design, packaging, fulfillment, cut and sew. We do everything at our facility.
It's a one-stop shop. And are you bringing them into the U.S. then, or are you shipping out of Mexico?
Everything's us. So we have 3.5 acres of facility down in Tijuana where we make everything. And then except for the resistance bands, that's coming from China. So we buy a lot of resistance bands. Speaking of that, we have our next container got today. There was the cargo ship lost 300 containers, and ours is one of them, dude. Is
that the one?
So if it's the one that I heard of, was it in Hawaii and they went back to Japan because was it that one?
Wow.
So one of my customers in Japan said 1,600 containers into the ocean.
$200 million worth of lost cargo is estimated to be on that right there. So that's the ship after. But
wow.
The video, man, is just seeing. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So they're just collapsed in and it's it's an O&E ship. It's wild. So okay, so that right there. I mean, obviously you can't get the resistance bands maybe in Mexico, so you got to rely on China. But the fact that you found the ways to not rely on, obviously this shows how susceptible we are to, how much we rely on imports as a country. And it's crazy right now. If you look up Long Beach port, saw a video this morning, there's ships just stacked in the ocean waiting to come into port. There's so much imports coming in. It's up like 30% from normal. Like it's crazy, but
air freight's gone up because of the demand and stuff. We're completely contingent upon them open and them producing stuff, dude. It's nuts how dependent we are on them. But we try to do everything here locally. I mean, that's because I knew we had to do everything locally because I got knocked off from my bracelet company, but everything in TJ, everything in Mexico, dude. And it's been our saving grace. It really has. And then what we are today, dude, it's like, never would imagine. I would never want to start another business. Never this year. Last thing I want to do is start another business, dude. And spread out. And it's been one hell of a ride, dude. I mean, from that Men's Health article to seeing your stuff from people you don't even know hit you up, and it's just like it's something new every week, and it's been fun, dude, and blessed. And I feel like the harder you guys know, the harder you work, the luckier you get, and they got to keep the pedal to the metal right now, even more so.
So that and I mean, no question about it. And the timing of it all, right? I mean, with the gyms being closed down, people, buying up all exercise equipment, everything. Is funny, man. Like a couple months in, I had some people hit me up, hey man, you would you want to sell any bars or anything? I'm like, I'm not selling nothing, bro. Like, no, not a chance. And that's what, to have this, right? You're in the situation where I think this product is amazing, especially in, you know, big city settings where people don't have a ton of space to sit there and have this full on garage gym kind of thing too, right? I mean, you have such an opportunity to kind of fill the void that, and I think now a lot of people can be like, well, I'm going to buy some stuff and I'm going to just work out at home because I figured this thing out for this long. I mean, the timing of coming to this market, it seems like the perfect opportunity for this, So,
And it's such a dynamic, like, home workout product, because you think of, you said competing with the Peloton, that's just cycling. I get on a weight bench, I just do bench. It's like the Zeno gym, which I've used because my dad owns one. I mean, you can do incline. I mean, you got the cables, you got ab
Hunter's over there working on his
exercises.
glutes, man. He's like
Working on my
firing up in
glutes
front
over
of
here,
in front
you
of the
know?
mirror right there, bro.
It's
So
an amazing
it
product.
is such a unique thing to the market. Like you said,
Yeah.
Bowflex. I mean, it's got that idea, that look of an off. I mean, it's something you would have expected from them, and that's what's cool for you guys to jump into that and hit it before anyone else kind of figured that thing out. Where right now, where is it at, and where do you see things going with it?
Right now, we are we're full steam ahead as far as our production goes. Like I said, we're producing between 500 and 600 benches a day, depending on what type of benches we're building, because we have a couple of variations. And so we're crushing it, the e-commerce game. Fortunately enough, we're doing really well, keeping us busy. Now we want to get into, we've already dived into the wholesale market. So just to name a few wholesalers we're working with right now, if we've currently working with or we're going to work with, Bob Ward's Outdoor, you have Backcountry, of course we're on Amazon Prime, but like Lowe's, GNC, there's several other ones I have a list of. Like I honestly don't even I can't even keep up with it right now. It's just kind of growing on its own. Costco is a big one. So we're diving into that branch of the business and developing the wholesale, because as much as retail is dying out, it's still relevant, especially if it's in Costco, dude. That's like the big whale. Anybody
In that timing. So when do you go to Costco?
End of Q1 is when you do that. And it's not like you roll out of all Costco's. You first have to go online. Once you've proven success online, you go into your regional Costco's, and then you get to roll out, which is good for us because we need to we need to ramp up, because production's tight right now, and we can maintain it. But if furniture picks up again, we're going to be in a position where dude, we need another factory.
Going against each other. Yeah.
We're going to need more room. We're going to need a big boat, there's a Jaws. So, timings, we have to make sure we grow at a steady pace. And Costco knows that. Everyone's told me, we can't just give you everything. We'll put you out of business. So that's where that's at right now. We're developing in that wholesale side. But the more importantly to your question is what everyone asks is, what are you going to do when the gym's open? How are you going to stay relevant? That's kind of like what everyone sees. Is it just like a COVID company? And my answer is hell no. We're not going to be a COVID company. Right now, we've been working on, we have 50 on-demand video workouts from high-profile trainers and local trainers. And so the number one question we have is from customers, how do you use the bench? What is it doing? Because our demographic is mainly 35-year-olds, 65% women, 35 and up and older, 65% women, 45%, 35% men. But they're not, average gym goers, or they're not at least, they're Arnold Schwarzeneggers or bodybuilders. So they're just wanting to, get in shape, maintain shape, get in routine. And, they're older, so they don't want to, put up squat rack and bench rack.
Sure.
So resistance bands is a great alternative. But they maybe not know all the workouts you can do. So and they're not going to buy 2 benches the next month either. So you have to get them on a workout program to retain the customer's lifetime. And that's what we're doing with the app. The app is going to come out. The first beta app is coming out in 2 weeks, and that's going to be a full hedge, 50 workouts app. And that's going to be great. But we realized
this would be called Zeno Gym, the app.
Well, there's a Zeno Gym app right now that basically gives you like 60 workouts, 60 different exercises. And they're not working. They're like 10 to 15-second videos of people doing exercises and body parts. You can get on the App Store, YouTube, and the Google Play. But this beta one actually has like full-on workouts.
Wow.
And they're good. They're good workouts. They have call outs, they have mics, and they have like the timers and set trackers and stuff.
Yeah.
But realize in order to compete with Peloton, which we know we're going to, there's 2 things that we're doing. We're going to make, we're starting right now, actually, today was a big meeting about that, is to get the highest profile trainers you can get and come out with multiple angle cameras, full on sets with all branded apparel, with all branded benches, lights, audio, full go, to have training for like consecutive days, and then do another consecutive days, and do one in LA, do one in here, and have Peloton level, mirror level workouts apps, and get people and get characters and get them trainers to show their personalities and character and get them hooked on the program. So that's our goal, is to have it on April 1st is when we're launching. That's it. That's what's one arm. And then the last thing, I know I'm talking long, but the second thing is the new bench. The new bench is going to be a game changer. It is going to, it's going to, once we get this new bench out, we're like Peloton, and people are going to start recognizing who we are. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, as crazy as that sounds, and I say it a lot, it's becoming more and more of a reality for me. It's like I'm manifesting it, I know, but the product speaks for itself. And so it's going to be a Bowflex, but you don't have to have this big eyesore in your garage or in your house. You're going to have this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to have this nice looking bench that doesn't even look like a freaking workout bench. It's beautiful with like solid hardwoods and laminates that are matching, and vinyls that, are just high quality perforated vinyls, and that are completely strong. And then we're actually going to have a mechanism that has a consistent pull throughout the entirety of it, not just resistance band, but resistance bands will always be there. So we're actually going to have mechanisms inside of all different angles and stuff. So, I mean, we're fully invested into the new product, into our app, and making it a name for ourselves. So that's the future. That's where we're at now. And like I said, man, it's fun, dude. It's exciting. And I'm looking forward to, because it's a challenge right now. It's not like I've made it. I have not, it's still a challenge. My challenge is, how are we going to be relevant when gyms are fully operational again? How are we going to be relevant this time next year? And how are we going to be relevant is to beat time, come up with a product that people are hooked to, and that join our community, about building a better self, getting a routine, building that brand who you want to distinguish yourself with. And that's our goal. That is our push, and how we're going to be a player for a long term.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Just to have that vision for this. And I mean, and that's it's hard. Obviously, no one can predict the future, but I mean, we're going to go back to gyms are going to it's going to be hard, right? And everything's going to come back right away, especially when things start getting back to normal at some point in time. But that opportunity at this point, I think, is such a great, unique opportunity to get in, because more people are going to create home gyms for themselves.
Yeah, dude. The best thing you can have is a home gym.
What's happened? Yeah.
It's like having a home gym is the best thing you can possibly have right now, dude. I mean, it's gold. It is gold to have a home gym, dude, and not having the inconvenience. Like, we're also blessed because our demographic is that older demographic who may not feel as comfortable going to the gym.
Exactly.
Postpartum, who is pregnant. How many pregnant women do you see at the gym? But they still want to be in shape and exercise. So it gives them the convenience and privacy to work out, become a better self, and build a routine at home.
Yep.
Oh, Chato, man. I mean, me and my dad built a home gym. I mean, basically the year leading up to COVID, just not even anything involved with that. And I was like, this is so much easier than having to go to the gym, or like, there's days where you don't feel good,
it cuts out
you don't like your fit, man. Or, you don't want to go to the gym. And it's like, I can just step down to my garage right here and work out. And it increases your chances of working out for sure.
Yes,
so
dude,
I think you guys are so much more dynamic, dude.
Thank you, man. But like, I love going to the gym, and it's in our garage, but like putting my YouTube music video on, jamming out, not having to worry about anyone else, taking my shirt off if I want to, be myself, look in the mirror, have my own routine. Like that's the luxury of having your own gym, of having to work out, not worry about parking meters, not being able to see someone you don't know. It's kind of a scene, always talking to people at the gym. I forgot my headphones, I don't have my gloves.
Yep.
I've got my water, whatever it is. It's like, dude, no excuses now. No excuses. Let's get to it. You see it right there. It's looking right at you. Let's get to work.
That's just it. And that's what's cool. Like the development of it, right? That growth of it going into this full, functional platform now that you do, right? You say you kind of cover all the bases. Right? I mean, you could get a cardio workout from that thing. You can hit your weights, right? You can lift, right? But it's such a unique thing. And that's what's cool to hear you kind of go into this, that the future growth and the ideas behind it, because I think we stay with I think a lot of people stay with the idea of working out at home, as the convenience level of that is probably the main idea. And the fact that this is one-stop shop opportunity, the convenience platform that it's offering I think that's going to be a big competitive advantage for you guys.
And now looking back at your ventures, I mean, happy hour, a USB jewelry bracelet. I mean, a home workout gym. It's like you're constantly chasing the markets. I mean,
kind of, yeah. I mean, you kind of have to adapt and be flexible, and I don't know. It's just I think a lot of luck too and timing, but just taking your life experiences and nothing can be happen without hard work and persistence and the knowledge of your experiences, knowledge of whatever it is you're diving into, dude. It all starts with those two things: hard work and knowledge. And going back to what we said in the beginning, dude, like that was Coach Self message to me. And as much as I didn't appreciate his coaching technique or not putting me in certain positions, I can learn two things from him. And it was knowledge is power and hard work, man. Those two lessons, I Broadway football, high school football really taught me. Just, I know you know that message, Hunter. I know you know that message too, man. And you said it every day to us. And it'll, this is the pillars of all my experiences. So whatever it is you do, man, what you can be, you can be working at McDonald's, whatever, just as long as your hard work is there, dude, you will advance your life. And so back to kind of what this whole podcast is about, dude. I love where I'm from. And that's even more of a story to me. It just makes our story even because as this whole, pivoting and, a desperation. At the end of the day, I'm from freaking Brawley, and I love it, dude. And that's just part of my story. And I got my life lessons from this. And no matter who I meet or where I go, and I might not go anywhere, but I'll always represent, blue and gold and Brawley Wildcats. As corny as it sounds, dude, like I always will, dude. And it's just part of me.
No doubt about it, man. No, it is it's awesome, man. I mean, to kind of go through this, right? Have this conversation about this. And the funny thing is, we've known each other, right, for forever, right, growing up in this. And then obviously we both known him since he was a little kid too, man. And to just see all this stuff and as we move forward and things go full circle, it's awesome, man, because we're at the point now where I wish there was more people when I was at that younger age that we could look at and go, for some guidance on other things they've done, right? Because you don't really know what people have done, and to love the fact that we can create this opportunity to bring, our connections together to kind of give back stories of success and finding how, man, it's not always easy. It's not always perfect. And that roadmap is not always going to look like you thought it would. But as you go along, man, you got to trust the opportunities that you've created. You got to trust your growth along the way to put you in these situations, right? Exactly what you've done. And it's really even more interesting to me to know now, right? Like how this went about, this last, right? The Zeno gym and where you're at with this. And that was just a change from the fact that we're in a situation now we can't control. What are we going to do? And that's awesome.
I one thing I didn't touch on is the name of the company, Zeno Gym. When I was at that tough period of my life, I felt alone and stuff, and I found the Stoicism in Ryan Holiday's books, and the growth and knowledge I've accumulated from being a Stoic. Marcus Aurelius, who was a big philosopher in Stoicism. I owe so much of my self growth, putting my ego away, learning how to tame my emotions, and those circumstances, and taking my L's, and life circumstances is not about what happens to you. It's not about if you're born on the east side of Brawley or you had bad grades, you didn't graduate. It's about how your parents are together. It's truly about how you respond to those situations. Is what I've learned, and I think that's our story as far as like Zeno goes. It's not like we don't control this pandemic at all, but it's what we do control is how we respond to this, how we respond to life circumstances, because we're gonna get hit, left and right in life, and whether it's emotionally through death, through heartbreaks, through business failures. That's going to happen. That's life. And frankly, this pandemic is probably not the biggest thing that's going to happen to us in our life personally, but we can't control that. But it's about what we can do to control that situation. And that's always been one of my messages I always want to go back to Brawley and kind of deliver that as a kid too, like you said, Justin, and have that type of influence. I think this podcast is a great example of that, dude. And I'm privileged and proud and honored to be a part of that, to kind of, start my journey of doing that in the life school. But that's the true message, dude. In life, it's not easy. You're gonna get hit upside the head. You're gonna get knocked down, dude. You're gonna be the smallest in the room. You're gonna be dyslexic. You're gonna have braces as a kid. You're gonna be from the east side of Brawley. But none of that shit matters in the day. It's all about your perspective on life and how you respond to those instances. And I wear it with the badge of honor again.
Yep. I love it, man. I love it. I'm pumped, man. I'm fired up to see where this thing goes. We're definitely going to be following this thing's. We're going to have a follow up to this. And I don't know if it's in 6 months or if it's in whenever it is, right? There's going to be a follow up to this, to the next step, and where you're at and hell, where we're at that time with this part, right? With everything. But, it couldn't have been a better second guest for us to have on with this. My man's right here asked some questions, so he was relaxed, which is I love it.
Progress, man. That's what it's all about.
That's right.
Well, maybe when we can do a follow up when that bar behind you opens up again, we can have a little bit of a taste testing.
We'll have a real one, man. We'll have you next when you're down here. We'll have to get a couple. I saw you drinking wine, so we'll actually get some wine out there. We'll have a face to face one, man. I do appreciate you taking the time with us today for this, because obviously, as for us, the same thing, man. With this thing, we're still growing and figuring this thing out, man. But
second episode,
man. I'll give you some kudos. If your side, man, telling the story, great job on telling your story, and I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff that people are going to be able to take some stuff from. And the fact is, hopefully the goal is to get this thing, start to launch this thing by the end of December, give you a little help out a little bit with pushing some sales out there, and but people get to know about it, man. It's such it's a unique thing. And the fact that, there's a valley tie to this product.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I love what you guys are doing, dude. I'm a big fan of it. When I didn't think twice when Hunter sent me that text, dude, I was like, absolutely, dude. I love the message you guys are delivering. And, if you guys are passionate about, which I see right here, that you guys can't do any wrong, dude. You're going to go out ahead of steam. I know you guys are going to half-ass anything. So again, I'm honored to be up here, humbled. I'm excited to see what you guys are creating, dude. And just to be a part of it it's a great experience.
Yeah, it's fun for us. And, we get people like you, people like my dad, and whoever else we're going to get. I mean, you guys really provide value for people here, and it can really influence people here to hear your stories and hear your journey and how, your mindset and mentality. So, like awesome.
We kind of just talked about, man, like the funny thing is that while our town is unique to us, there's so many towns just like this across the United States, right? There's so many people that are in the same boat of like not knowing of like, what am I going to do? What do I want to do? Where am I going to go? I don't have these things here, right? But like at this point in time, like, man, you create a lot of opportunities for yourself if you just say yes, right? I'm going to go do this. And that's what's cool about this, right? We can take your specific story to this, and this could be transferable to many people It doesn't just have to be here, anywhere. And that's what I think the coolest part about this thing is. You can kind of take those small town success stories and apply it to a lot of people's lives and go, man, like, all right, like this guy got out of where's that? Like, look at this and see the situation and realize like, man, I can take something from that and do it, do something with it.
That's no one made it with no one's a self-made millionaire, dude. Those self-made millionaires had people, they've inspired to be like and got motivated like this too, dude. And I'll never say myself self-made because I learned from the previous guy and stuff. So what you guys are doing is just giving that a platform for hopefully anyone else. So this is awesome. I got to be part of it.
Yes, sir, man.
Yeah, dude. I love the hustle, man. And you at the end of the day, you want to surround yourself with people that are hustlers and stuff. And that's what I can work with. So we're lucky, man. And again, you guys, blessed, privileged, honored to be here and to hear this thing live and to hear what you guys do next, dude. And so thank you for the opportunity.
Fired up, man. I appreciate you taking the time. I know this probably went longer than we even thought it was, but I think that's a good thing because none of this stuff was forced. So I think it's going to be solid, man. Yeah, dude. I definitely appreciate it, bro.
From my dad's story to yours, man. These are it's gotten better already.
This was good. Like I said, I didn't know how long to expect as far as the time frame with this thing, man. And I think sometimes when you just when you relax and just have a normal conversation, right? You just kind of know what you just kind of get the details instead of just kind of rushing through it. Which, man, this went well. I appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys. I had a great time. I have a meeting right now in 6 minutes, but I'm all smiles, dude.
Do your thing, awesome, man. Do your thing. We'll stay in touch and man, keep killing it, man. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Hey, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. If I don't see you guys, dude, crush it.
Same to you, man. Merry Christmas and good luck, brother. We'll talk soon.
Need any benches, any gym equipment, just hit me up, dude. I'll hook you guys up.
Hey, discount?
I think Santa's bringing yours, so you're covered, big guy.
Full price. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all, man. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, you guys. Adios. Have a good night.